Yeah, if you think it a little bit bigger point, like if you think there is no water, then there is no life. But thousands of people are dying all over the world every year for using polluted water. And in our project, we try to improve our understanding how we can reduce pollution from water naturally. And aquatic plants can be one of that solution that can help us to improve the water quality. So I think it's quite important for us.
Is this method applied already?
It's the concept is already applied. People started different ecosystem, but we are mainly focusing on cold climate region and also mining activities. Because in cold climates we have not much population, but we are extracting minerals and other quite a lot. So we are creating pressure on environment, and in those area nutrient, mainly nitrogen, phosphorus, they are limited. And when you do this mineral extraction, other things, you get more nutrient in water, and this can reduce the water quality, and that can affect the animals or organisms that are living in this area, and this can have also long-term effect in other ecosystem. So it's
I get it that the plants they take up, for example, nutrients from the water and nitrogen. But when the plants die, how do you handle?
Yes. So if you do a management, like if you do constructed wetland that you can find in agricultural area or many other municipalities area, in that case either you can harvest the macrophytes or aquatic plants, but uh, beside aquatic plant, some microorganisms, small organisms that we can't see by naked eyes, but they are living also in the plant roots, and they can also cycle in nutrient that in scientific way you can say denitrification. So you change, for example, nitrogen compound to nitrogen gas, and it goes to atmosphere, then it's not toxic. So
No, but on the other hand, you are contributing to greenhouse effect.
if nitrogen is fully converted, nitrogen compound is fully converted
Yeah.
to nitrogen, then it's not a
Not
greenhouse.
a greenhouse.
But if there is other like
Yeah.
nitric oxide produced, then it's toxic. And we are also trying to see like which type of bacteria is actually responsible for this type of greenhouse gas emission, or do they can completely transfer nitrogen compound to nitrogen gas. So we also use molecular technique, so you can see like which type of plant is more beneficial for your system, so you can introduce those plants in the wetland system and you can get better recycling. But
Yeah.
you can also think this plant you can use also when if you harvest them, you can use it in a biogas production or biofuel or other thing, so you can get some kind of byproduct. It's also helpful, and maybe in other way it can help to reduce greenhouse gas emission, although they are contributing on greenhouse emission. But if you make the calculation, maybe it's
In some kind of mining, you also have harmful substances. I mean, heavy metals and things like that. Do you have any example of plants that can pick these out of the water?
there are some studies. I'm not expert in this heavy metal area, but I only work with nitrogen and nitrogen. But there are some studies and literature, and they shows that by aquatic plant you can take some kind of heavy metals, especially moss, the small tiny plants that you find close to the stream or pond. They can take more metal compared to nitrogen or phosphorus, so they can be quite useful.
Oh. Do you have any concrete example of where it's used now?
Then
The system, I mean, the concept.
like if we take our example, it's a mining company in Kiruna. It's called LKB, and
Yeah.
they're quite a big company.
Yes.
Actually, they run the whole city.
Yeah.
And recently, they are facing problem with nitrogen because it comes from their explosive, and when explosive get blast and it come to the water, and it reduce the water quality. And now what we are trying, we have different technique, And one of technique is we use wetland and we have plants, and we saw that when you have more plants, they can take out more nitrogen from water. And we also take plants from pristine area where we think that no, there was no nitrogen in this area, it's natural. And we found it, yeah, like nitrogen is less in plant in pristine area, but nitrogen is more in plant tissue when you take it from mining area. So they can utilize actually more nitrogen. So it, sorry,
It works.
example
Okay.
how it can.
Do you get any side effects at all? I mean, you are introducing plants here in an environment where they usually...
Yeah, it depends. If you have invasive plants, maybe like when you get more nitrogen, more nutrient, invasive plants come and then they take over the system. In that case, maybe it's not so useful. In our study, we also work with one plants, and that is also invasive in Sweden. And we found that actually they grow very fast, but they don't take much nitrogen compared to the local species. So in that case, you can see that invasive species is not always good. Then you come about the management, how you should manage.
Yeah.
Maybe you should introduce local species, not the invasive one. Then you get more benefit.
Interesting. If we look, say, 10 years ahead, how do you think we're going to see the use of your method?
If we think about in future, like now we are trying to see like how much biomass we need if you want to remove certain amount of nitrogen, or how big your wetland should be to remove this amount of nitrogen that is coming from your industry or mine site. So I think our knowledge can be applied to construct wetland, how big it should be, or what type of plant you can plant, and I think that will help a lot to get better management. And I think in future maybe there will be more technique like that you can insert certain kind of gene in the plant that can help more nitrogen. So there is lots of opportunities in future, but our studies, I hope it will also help us to do this type of management.
Do you see a future where we can export this kind of systems?
Yes, especially in developing country or poor countries. Like it's natural technology, so you don't need so high-tech technology. So if you have the understanding what type of plant you need, how you can plant them, then you can export this knowledge to a developing country, because they have quite a lot of wetlands in those areas, tropical countries. Probably they don't know the mechanism. Maybe still it's working there, but they don't have the awareness. So if you create the awareness and show their system, maybe they can improve their lifestyle and also improve the water quality. I think it's highly applicable, especially to the developing country and also poor countries. They can be benefited.